When these lionesses set an ambush for the buffaloes, they didn't know what awaited them. Instead of panic fleeing, the hoofed animals chose furious resistance. They literally scattered the predators, who had to panically hide in the bushes. Now you'll see other cases where buffaloes demonstrated their strength. The African buffalo is one of the strongest herbivores in the world. Not only because individual males can weigh just a little under a ton, but also due to the desperate bravery of these fighters. Just watch how a buffalo battles opponents significantly larger in size. This rhinoceros is about 6 to 7 times more massive than the buffalo, but the hoofed animal boldly goes for a head-on attack. It seems like their body sizes are almost the same, but in reality they're not. The buffalo is quite tall thanks to its long limbs, but in fact the rhinoceros has a clear advantage. The buffalo knows this, but it doesn't stop him. The buffalo even managed to resist an elephant. All for the defense of its herd, where the animal plays the role of a leader. The buffalo fiercely attacks the elephant, which is 10 times more massive and could easily knock the opponent into the ground with a single blow. Fortunately for the hoofed animal, the elephant turned out to be peaceful and stepped back. Just like this one. The elephant seems to be amused when facing this buffalo. But the big-eared giant underestimated the opponent. The buffalo doesn't retreat and uses its horns. However, it ended without injuries. Probably the buffalo understands what an enraged elephant could do to him. The main weapon of the buffalo is its powerful horns. Their shape is perfect for self-defense. The sharp tips are arranged to cover the eyes and simultaneously allow the buffalo to attack predators if they latch onto the throat from the side. The horns taper sharply and can inflict dreadful puncture wounds. The base of the horns is very massive and dense, and it's located in front of the head and is exposed as the horns curve to the sides and slightly backward. Therefore, the buffalo uses the base of its horns as a powerful battering ram for frontal attacks. The tips of the horns seem to catch the victim of the attack, making it extremely difficult to dodge the buffalo's attack at close range. Interestingly enough, during clashes, males can accidentally entangle their horns. One can only hope that they can free themselves from this entanglement. However, horns are not the only weapon of this animal. Weighing over a ton is the norm for an African buffalo. But some individual tough males can reach a weight almost twice as much. With their physical abilities, buffaloes use their weapons boldly. They often fight among themselves for control of the herd and for females, but most importantly, these animals are not afraid to fight predators and give them fierce resistance. Buffaloes look quite muscular, and despite their mass, they remain agile and nibble animals with excellent reactions. So, besides horns, they use other ways to combat aggressors, primarily their hooves. A buffalo can trample a careless predator that approached too closely. Although buffaloes rarely ram, they can kick with their legs to a considerable height relative to their body. The main enemy of the African buffalo is the lion. These carnivorous cats are strong enough to attack buffaloes even one-on-one. A lion can bring down a young buffalo to the ground and reach its throat, then strangle it, despite the buffalo's attempts to break free. Although hunting buffalo is one of the most dangerous adventures for lions, as even solitary hooves possess tremendous strength. The buffalo can easily lift a lioness on its horns, make her feel like a bird, and slam her head down to the ground with one blow. Moreover, if the buffalo can break free from the grip, it will undoubtedly attempt to attack lions that are too close and are unlikely to evade. Then the buffalo can simply scatter the lions as easily as a bowling ball scatters pins when hitting the center. But a pride of lions poses an even more serious threat, as several lionesses can almost guarantee overcoming a single buffalo. Fortunately, herbivores often come to each other's aid, so the main tactic of lions when hunting them is not stealth, but intimidation. lions must instill panic among the hoofed animals, making them succumb to fear and start fleeing chaotically. Then it's possible to snatch one animal and attack it amid the stir of retreating buffaloes. If the herd doesn't flinch, it might provide collective resistance. Just look at these impressive shots. Buffaloes gathered like an army and surged like a black wave onto the predators. It's challenging to count the number of hoofed animals participating in the attack, but it goes into the dozens. Even if a single buffalo can resist 2 or 3 lionesses, in the case of such overwhelming numerical superiority of herbivores, predators have no chance. Buffaloes successfully push back the lions. Interestingly enough, hoofed animals don't fight as chaotically and thoughtlessly as one might expect. They form a circle that gradually tightens around the lions. Predators take a circular defense. Buffaloes attack episodically. One animal steps forward, carries out a furious but brief attack, and quickly returns back. Allies nearby cover its shoulders, preventing lions from launching a counterattack. Then another animal repeats the same move at a different point in the formation, and so on several times. This tactic wears out the lions. Now the predators are on the verge of panic. The task of the buffaloes is to drive dangerous neighbors out of this territory. Allowing lions to stay means they will attack, but later, when they can camouflage themselves in the grass. The victims of the predators will be the weakest and youngest individuals. To prevent this, buffaloes are ready for anything. If lions had flinched and fled, herbivores would have simply trampled them. Fortunately for the predators, they managed to maintain composure and withdrew gradually. But they clearly underestimated the persistence of the buffaloes, who practically pushed them from the shore into the water. These lions weren't so lucky. There was no water barrier nearby that would have saved them from final encirclement. Buffaloes closed in the circle and started attacking the enemies. Hoofed animals acted cautiously so as not to accidentally injure each other due to the momentum and inertia. Buffaloes rushed at the lions from different sides, delivered furious blows, and retreated back to their comrades, who timely opened up and let them into the depth of the herd. This broke the defensive formation of the lions, which was a fatal mistake. The predators had no chances. Buffaloes didn't chase them away. They decided to fight to the end and finished off the lions for the next hour. Although the cats fiercely defended themselves and tried to evade, the final outcome of the confrontation was only a matter of time. Buffaloes destroyed a significant part of the pride. As strong and fierce as a buffalo may be, it doesn't know how to breathe underwater like a fish. This obvious weakness is exploited by the crocodile, which attacks the hoofed animals when they cross rivers or come to drink water. Coping in a one-on-one battle with a buffalo can only be achieved by a crocodile at the peak of its strength. Adult, mature, is still relatively young one. The length of the reptile's body exceeds that of the buffalo, and the crocodile's jaws can accommodate the entire head of the hoofed animal. But in terms of pure physical strength, the buffalo still surpasses the predator due to its much greater mass. Therefore, the crocodile uses cunning. It quietly approaches its prey, grabs it with its phenomenally strong jaws, and drags it to the bottom. The reptile's goal is to drown the hoofed animal, but this buffalo is clearly against such a turn of events. Although the sudden appearance of a terrifyingly scary monster frightened the herd, and no one came to the aid of the buffalo, it found the strength and dealt with the threat itself. It seems like the crocodile is winning. It took advantage of the element of surprise to the fullest, lured the buffalo into the depths, made it lower its head, but the will to live did not leave the hoofed animal. It resisted desperately. A more sophisticated cardiovascular system makes mammals more enduring than most reptiles. Therefore, the buffalo could withstand the crocodile's main attack, and the reptile simply exhausted itself in attempts to drown the prey. The hoofed animal stayed on the surface long enough not to suffocate. It was also tired, but its hooves began to threaten the reptile, so it finally released the buffalo and swam as far away from the threat as possible. In the end, the wounded buffalo swam to the shore to regain strength next to the herd and rest. Meanwhile, the crocodile, in powerless fury, watched from a distance, only now realizing that it had made a mistake in choosing its target. Perhaps attacking a less strong and stubborn buffalo would have been more successful. But this individual turned out to be too much for the crocodile to handle.